walk out of St. Herman's Cathedral, you are very disappointed by what happened in there. You look back and you see Emilia smile at you and wave, and her red afro and her smudged face, she walks back inside. And you think of how Emilia snubbed you so badly and just outplayed you so brilliantly. You're a little upset. What do you do?
She got very defensive.
She did.
But Devin is going to go back home and finally get to that letter that was given to him by that stranger in the streets.
All right. You begin making your way from St. Herman's Cathedral. The brilliant Gothic architecture hanging behind you in the center of this massive futuristic cityscape. You walk out into the rain as it pours on you, soaking you through the bone, making you cool, but refreshing you oh so nicely, as you are a Videlkin. You walk past... You walk past the consulate building and the signorate building and walk your way to your apartments. Your mind searching the areas around you, you feel the minds of the people that have been placed to spy on you. You know they're there. These things, these people, they don't really have a way to keep up with you. They don't know how to compete. They can't spy on you. You walk inside, and in a hidden membrane on top of the water, you press your hand and drag it toward you and lift it up, and within you find the letter. The membrane blends with the color of the water, making it virtually invisible, and you know that they've probably come in here and looked through your stuff, but they haven't found that because you're just too good. Dabinet is too good for that. So he picks up the membrane, pulls out the letter, sets it on the desk, and begins setting some things up, looking around. And what was going through Dabinet's head as he was walking home and saw these different minds that he knows were there?
Well, not so much. Slightly before that, the way Emilia has slighted him, has acted defensively, she definitely has something to hide, and it definitely has something to do with Huel and von Gimsbach, whether they're in leagues or she just sold him something because she wanted money. But the repetition of corruption. Amelia, sisters, adept sisters, they're supposed to be religious, holy as it were. But everything about Olivos is slowly degrading itself. It is losing its purpose. Put it simply, the law of cause and effect is catching up. As Devin walks home, he feels these minds. He knows they're there. He's sensing them. He's reminded of that one who walked past him, and for whatever reason, Devin had just looked into his mind, and he saw this demonic figure in his own eyes. And he's reminded of the word Hadari, the name of that man, the secret name of that man. His blood begins to boil again. He's getting more and more irritated. Once again, the corrupt nature of Lavasa is everywhere. Northfelds, they just seem to be at the center of it, with excuse me. I totally forgot his name.
Ackerman?
With Ackerman at the center of that. He's fed up with them. He's had too much of them. He's
You're in your house, and you're going to open this letter, and within there is a cipher. And the words, roll a dice on the face of a clock to know where you must go. Running the numbers in your head really quickly, you see that this cipher produces gibberish. So you set it down, and Davenid, how do you get ready to solve a complex problem?
Well, like in real life, music, it prepares the mind, it readies the mind, it opens up the creative thinking inside the mind, almost unlocks it as it were. So, Devin is actually going to get one of his older vinyl records out. An old Burgish record, right before, well, not right before, a few years after the Burgish were taken by Lavasa.
So you walk forward and you open your slide, and you press a button, and this thing folds out of the wall, and a drawer opens underneath it with all your records in it. And the large speaker sitting up there, it's shell-like shape. It's ornate. It's really nicely carved. It is older in design. And you grab the Burgish vinyl, and you press it.
I believe it's called Non-Regrettable, or yes, something like that.
As the song begins to play, Dabenid, you see the code. How would you like to solve it?
He's gonna take a deep breath. Let the music go for a few more seconds. He remembers reading the words face of a clock. So he grabs that face of clock from the wall and just rips it out. Actually, he takes it down. He puts it on a flat surface and grabs a pair of dice. Well, a dice.
It's a D20 as you set it on the face of the clock.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most common dice in Lavasa, I believe, right?
This is correct.
Yeah. For some reason, well, for whatever reason, he just rolls it, and he rolls an 11. Doesn't really amount to much. Doesn't make sense how any stranger would comprehend what I would roll and then take that into account. So he thinks a D20. There's 20 sides to it. Goes left to right, the clock, that is.
So going left to right, what does that tell you about the cipher? How does that relate to the dice?
It's translated from left to right, and the dice, wouldn't make sense. Well, if it's a 20-sided dice, kind of makes sense not to count numbers more than 20.
Yep.
So like the thing of 20, 21 and onward.
You're going to ignore.
Yeah, ignore that.
Everything beneath it.
Yes, everything beneath that. He looks at that and looks on the opposite side of that and translates or deciphers that.
So you're going to read it from one, working your way to the left, around in a spiral.
Yes.
That. Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you do that, and you do that, and that gets you a more clear message, and it says, "Meet us at the place of sorrow, where the hope of the future dragon burned."
So sorry.
As you think about this and the music dies in the background, you look over and you see what you've come to this information. So what is a dragon? What does a dragon refer to?
Well, outside of Levasa, it's just an animal, but within Levasa, I believe it's refer to a dragool.
Yep, that is correct.
So, and this is commonplace understanding and knowledge in Levasa. Yeah. So, dragool, has something to do with a dragool.
There is a click, click, click as the song restarts. And a dragool, so it has something to do with a dragool. Is there anything you can think?
Burning down.
So the burning of the consulate, the burning of that consul member's house. Which one of those? Do you want to? Okay, you want to look into one of those?
Yes. Consulate probably gonna be a little bit harder, so I'll look. What do I know about the consul member's house and it's burned down? What do I know of the consul?
Not a whole lot, but if you look it up, it's pretty. There's a lot on it. He was Consul Diedrich van Wittelsbach the Dragon, being a dragool. He was a member of the Mortal Rights organization under Geoffrey. He had only one sire ever, Ras von Wittelsbach, and she took over in name, behaving as consulate member, and here recently she was elected to full position. But shortly after she came into possession of all of her progenitors' things, her house burned down. Would you want to look into the consulate building burning?
What do I know of that? I mean,
you know a lot of people died there, and it would take a long time to look through.
Yeah. With that knowledge, I'll try my best just to look into the smaller matter, see what I can find out about that. It makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, so you want to fly toward the old... Okay. So you get in your car. You go out, you wave down a carriage, you get in it and begin flying in that way. As you approach from above, you enter a much richer district, and you find that this little section here, this house, whenever it burned down, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a month ago, whatever it was, has not been cleared away. It's just this burnt stump. You pull out The
Yes, actually, before I leave, I want to get some
Mhm.
blueprints on the house, if possible.
Yeah, I'll allow that. You grab the blueprints, you land, you're able to find your way through. Could you roll an intelligence check for me to as you're walking through the house?
Yeah, intelligence. That is a 19.
19. Okay. So on a 19, like, is that a modified 19, or did you roll a 19? You have to add your
No,
modifiers.
no, that is a modified 19.
Okay, cool. You you see, it's pretty clear to you that this fire was started from multiple locations.
Well,
Like there was
okay.
no one source of the fire. It started in multiple places.
So it definitely wasn't an accident.
Definitely was not an accident. As you make your way back to the uh the master bedroom, you find where, the old coffin would be. There's this stone semi-dome around that spot where it was. And you come in, it's like mostly burnt out. The coffin is more or less gone, but there's this one little thing left in the back, and you lean down and look at it, and it's a 7-leafed clover. The symbol of the Mortal Rights Organization.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's just a regular 7-leaf clover. That's the symbol of the Mortal Rights Organization. Mr. Morpheus Arnok.
I spin around.
There is a man in a black trench coat with black leather gloves and a white mask with black hair falling around, with a rough, mottled black hair falling around it. He looks up at you and says, "They leave people like us behind. There were good ones." He walks forward and rests his hand on the mostly burnt coffin. Diedrich, Jeffrey. They did a lot for us. You know what happens to them? This. He gestures around him, spreads his arm, and does a small spin. They get left in the dust. This is what comes of trying to work within this system. And what happens to good, childlike people who just want to do what they enjoy. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a yellow envelope and hands it to you. And then turns around.
Take it and open it, see what's in it.
It's a picture of Sarah being grabbed by the Northfelts, taken toward a van. And the next picture is one of those same Northfelts officers walking into Ackerman's house with Ackerman in front of him. Mr. Morpheus Arnok.
Devlin's knees. I mean, without the guy realizing it, Devlin's knees begin to shake. And the shake spreads upwards. And
Mr. Morpheus Arnok.
when was this taken?
Shortly after her disappearance. If you want to finally stop pretending like this civilization can continue in its corrupt nature, its broken style, then perhaps it's time you helped me and my organization make it crumble, he says, forming a fist tightly, the leather on his glove squeaking ever so slightly.
What is your organization called?
We go by many names.
Are you also part of 7-leaf clover?
No.
Silver rights.
You can call us Millennium. He walks forward and extends his hand. You realize the back of one of his leather gloves has a circle with a pentagram on it. Welcome Mr. Morpheus Arnok, to Millennium.
Evelyn extends a hand and gives him a handshake and accepts his hand.
And I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight.